Did you go to the Drake and the Drake D'Angelo show in Toronto?
Absolutely. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Actually, I went with Drake to see D'Angelo.
Okay.
Yeah, I was down there working with Drake. And he was like, D'Angelo's in town. I was like, let's go. So we all, got in this big car, Bentley or Rolls, whatever, one of them big cars, taller than me. And we went and we saw the show, man.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
You're one of these unique artists that you can really cross over. Like you mentioned, you can do rap, you collab, Jadakiss and Drake and some of these others. Is that something that you always strive? Did you always want to be like, you know what? I mean, collabing with other R&B, that's easy because we've seen that so much. But to see the crossover appeal, which you have.
I always knew that I loved music and I understood it. If I heard it, if it's a rap song, I know how to be Anthony Hamilton on it.
Okay.
The country songs I've done with Josh Turner and John Rich from Big and Rich. I'm a country boy. I know it.
Right.
Rock, Carlos Santana. I know what it means and I know what it should feel like. And I love it all. So, it's an extension of who I am. I never feel like I'm out of my character.
Right.
So it's fun.
Would you do a country album?
Absolutely. I have so many country songs and I'm actually working on one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think it's so impressive because not a whole lot of people are willing to take that risk. That you be one genre and I know you for this and that I'm willing to step out of my comfort zone and do that. I tilt my hat off to Beyonce.
Absolutely.
Because she's at the top of she's here. She's a pantheon.
Yeah.
And she say, you know what? I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. You have to be brave in today's society because it's people that want to control your destiny and your happiness and dictate who you should be for them. When he's like, no, I know who I want to be, and I know all the many me's I want to be. So you just have to go for it.
When you was at, I think Drake calls his house the embassy. You go there and you're recording.
Yeah.
Do you ever get an awe when you meet people? You met a lot of famous people. You had a conversation. You was at the White House and you met President Obama and you met Mr. Mandela and you met all these. Do you ever get an awe? Do you ever like, man, I'm just a country boy from North Carolina and here I am. I'm him.
Yeah. I remember the first time going to Prince's house was like, whoa, this is.
In Janas's, huh? In Minneapolis?
I went to the
Janas's house.
I went to the what's the name of the studio?
Paisley Park.
Paisley Park. I went to Paisley Park.
Okay.
But his house is in LA.
Okay.
So after the award shows, he has these big jam sessions. So you had Stevie Wonder on keys, Questlove on drums, like everybody.
Wow.
There after these shows, and he wants me to sing, but I'm trying to party. So I'm trying to get a little drink and go down here in the hot. He would always fire me, send somebody to fire me to make me come and sing. I remember one time I was singing the Lord's Prayer. He was like, Anthony, he must have got in some trouble or something. He was a funny cat, man. We would sit and watch some YouTube, me, him, and Shelby J, who was one of the last singers to sing with Prince, but another country, just a Southern girl.
Is it true that he wouldn't let people eat meat, drink, smoke at his sessions?
So D'Angelo we were supposed to go meet Prince years ago with D'Angelo. And we were all excited, but when he said all that, the drinking and the smoking and all that, D was like, man, forget that. But it wasn't out of no disrespect. It was just like, I don't want to be uncomfortable, and I don't want to make y'all uncomfortable. But Prince turned it around though.
Right.
Eventually, we were able. He had food, he had drinks, and I think he started to change.
Right.
I think when you start to grow and realize, like, hey, my path is my path, and yours is yours, so we can all be here at the same time and have a good time.
What was it like meeting Mr. Mandela? We know his story, 20 plus years in Robbins Island, what he fought for, having to work and the rock quarries, being beaten, and still he forgave his oppressors.
You know what? I was supposed to have met him, and he had taken sick. So as I was flying out, basically they were taking him to the house that he was born in. So unfortunately, I didn't get to meet him, but I met his family, the rest of all his kids and family. I sat in his house on his couch, and I was like, this is amazing. You know, the spirit of who he was.
Yes.
It was permeating throughout that house. It was very strong.
Do you ever get nervous around famous people?
I think it's harder for me to sing at award shows.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason I feel like it's so much judgment.
They judging you.
They judging me, you know, and I don't get a chance to. You don't get a chance to warm it up.
Right.
So in my shows, I can coast, warm it up, and get to where my sweet spot.
Yeah.
You got to be able to be sweet on go.
Off the muscle.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the challenges that took the longest.
Right.
Yeah.
You got an opportunity to perform in front of President Obama and Michelle Obama.
Oh, absolutely. A few times I've been to the White House. He invited me to his birthday party as well after that. That was pretty surreal too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They take your phone, so you ain't in there taking pictures and all that. So he was able to walk around and just be.
And have a good time.
Absolutely. He came and talked to me, and I took my son, one of my sons, and he came and spoke to us for at least a good 10 minutes.
Wow.
Just down to earth, man.
Yeah.
And I met Michelle a few different times.
Getting to your writing, is it only natural? Can you be a great artist without being a great writer?
Absolutely. I think a hit record can change anybody's life, whether you wrote it or anybody else. I think the music makes way for the artist to be either great or just mediocre or good.
You wrote the write on Donnell Jones, You Know What's Up.
Yeah, I co-wrote that, yeah.
So I'm always fascinated is that when you write a song, do you have anybody particular in mind when you like if you just write a song, do you have somebody particular in mind that you want to give this piece to?
Absolutely. A lot of times you do. A lot of times just like, this sounds like R. Kelly. This sounds like Beyonce. This sounds like her or Jasmine Sullivan. You hear that person's voice because the music represents a certain sound.
Okay.
And but for the Donnell Jones, we actually went in to write for him.
Okay.
So these guys are the same writers that wrote for Jaheim and a lot. So they had a really nice sound. But I didn't know that song was going to be a success.
Right. So when you go, let's just say for the sake of argument, I'm an R&B singer, and I call people in. I was like, look, I want you guys to help me write something for my album.
Yeah.
So we invite, 5, 6, 7 people in, and you guys sit around and do you just go, or do they give you a kind of a direction to go in?
I think you start throwing out ideas.
Okay.
And sometimes that's challenging because, you know, their ideas can kind of, you know, make you lose your train of thought.
Okay.
And sometimes you get in the studio with people who are greedy there because they know if you wrote, back in the day, if you wrote more words, you get more percentage.
Okay.
And so those are the writers you want to stay away from. But I think, you know, you throw ideas out, whatever's the strongest tends to stick out. Right. I remember being in writing Why for Jadakiss. I think it was Pharrell and a whole bunch of people were in the studio, a lot of producers and writers. And it was me that went in and started saying, all that I've been given, it's pain that I've been living. And everybody had been trying to get that hook.
Right.
And it wasn't until I did that it's like, that's the strongest thing we've heard.
Right.
And it's different. So it just takes that one line that, like, I'm a dog on my mutt.
Right.
When you hear a line like that, it's like, okay, we got to pay more attention to this writer.
Right.
Because they got it, you know? So it just depends on the session, the sound, the music, and the group of people you're with.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because you know we like to do something before 2 something.